want to talk about having a vision for your images and understanding your camera's potential and your processing software's potential so that when you take an image, you can have that in your mind and you can have a vision for what that image is going to look like, uh, especially if you're shooting in RAW, once you bring that image into your processing software and are able to adjust it and bring out all the potential in it. Now we have this image right here that we're looking at, and I'll make it a little bigger here. And when I took this image, it didn't look a whole lot different than this. It looked a little bit better because, of course, this is raw, and raw images are always very flat. Uh, but I saw the potential in this image. The simplicity of this image is really wonderful, and I knew that I was going to get a lot more color out of this image. The sun was coming down right over here, or coming up right over here, and I knew that taking this image in a raw file, in a raw format, and then bringing it into my processing software, Luminar, that I could make something special out of this image. And I want to show you uh, how that's possible, and that you should approach your photography that way. If you have a good camera, if you have exposed correctly, and shoot in raw, that you can bring out so much potential in an image. So let's go ahead and open this up in Luminar, and I'm going to go right to Open With and down to Luminar 2018. I'm going to open that up. You could also just take it and drag it and drop it into Luminar down here, and the symbol for Luminar down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm in Luminar right now, and if you hadn't seen Luminar before, this is it. And over on your right side is all your filters are available. And right now, I'm going to open up my this filter here, the professional filter, because it has the raw developer. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the lens correction, and you'll see just a little slight difference will happen. And then I'm going to go ahead and work on the adjustments in the professional filter, because it comes with a whole set of adjustments in this raw develop. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and put a little contrast in here. And I'm going to bring the highlights down a little bit. Bring the shadows just up a smidgen. I'm going to bring the clarity up a bit. And I'll go ahead and bring the vibrance up a bit. I'm going to bring the eye accent filter up. These filters are all in I made another set. And these filters, a lot of these filters are in my other set for working on illumination. Dehaze a little bit. Okay, I really like this feature here, this advanced contrast that Luminar has. I'm going to bring this, and I work from top to bottom. Work on the highlights first, and then the midtones. These are all contrast sliders. Let's limit down a bit. And then the shadows, bring the shadows down. This is actually lightening it up, but then you can either go either way. You can go this way, it'll lighten it up, and this way it'll darken the shadows a little bit. And I kind of like that effect. Curves, I'm not going to do anything on that. I might add a little blue on this HLS saturation. Add a little blue, add a little green, add a little yellow, a little orange because it's morning. Okay, split tone. Okay, that's all I'm going to do with these filters. And what I'm going to do is going to go up here to layers. I'm going to create another layer, because what I normally like to do is I like to work my way through. And I've made, these are my own personal filter sets that I've made. And what I do is I make a layer for the tone and light. I make a layer for the color, and I make a layer for details. And I like to do it separate like that. And a little more of this AI boost. And a little more clarity maybe. I don't know if I want to go through the shadows and highlights again. They look pretty good, but I'm going to do a little bit of adjusting there. Yeah, midtones. I know some of this I'm doing twice, but there we go. Now you're seeing a lot of potential coming out of this image. Okay. We have brightness and contrast down here. Sometimes I find that I make my images too dark when I'm doing all those other adjustments. So I put this brightness and contrast so I can bring the brightness back up if I need to, but I don't think I need to on this image. And then I also have another one for highlights and shadows. Bring the highlights down just a little bit. And I think I will bring the brightness up just a smidgen. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another filter over here, which is down here. I'm looking for, there it is, sun rays. I'm going to open up that filter. Okay, now that looks pretty ridiculous, huh? Because I'm going to move that. Oh, sorry about that. I'm in the wrong place. So you move the sun around by you moving this. This one moves it across the image, and this one, that's your x-axis, and this one's your y-axis. We'll move it up to the top of the image, and I gotta get rid of that filter right there. And when I use these sun rays, I try to be as subtle as possible so that it doesn't distract from the image and it doesn't look artificial, because it can easily look artificial. I'm going to put that right up in the corner there, and then I want to put the sun. I don't see, you can go real crazy with them. I like them to be really subtle. Okay, and I'm going to increase the warmth some. Okay, and you can increase the radius of the sun if you want, but the sun is actually out of view right now, so you're not going to see it very much. You can increase the warmth of the sun, the glow amount. Okay, so I think I'm done with that. Now I'm going to move up here. I'm going to open up another adjustment layer. And I'm going to go to color. And I want a little bit more vibrance. Like that. And I want to go down here to golden hour. This was a morning shot, and this looks like a morning shot, but it was about mid-morning, so the sun was kind of high, and so you don't get that golden glow at that time of day. But I want to have that golden glow, so I'm going to increase that a little bit and give myself some more golden glow there, so it looks more like the morning. Yeah, probably should have put that sun lower, like down here, but it'll be all right. So. Okay, here I have that, and it looks pretty good actually. It looks pretty much like I think I would want it to look. And there's just one more thing I want to do is I want to make another layer, and I want to go to details. And normally I would use details to sharpen the image, but there's really nothing on this image that I feel I need to sharpen. But what I want to do is I got some. If you look over in my sky here, you'll see that it's kind of noisy, okay? So what I want to do is get rid of that noise, and there's a lot of ways to get rid of noise. One way is to back off on your structure, and it'll smooth everything out, okay? But I don't want to back off the structure on the whole image, just up in the sky here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this here, I'm going to hit this brush, and it gives me this orange square around here. So the only things that I paint on will be affected by this filter. So, and I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bigger by hitting the right bracket. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint in that what I decrease in structure that I did, which will actually make it a little like blurry. But I don't care if the sky is blurry because the sky has no detail in it. And what I want is I want to take that noise out of the sky. So this actually works pretty well for doing this. Okay. And then if I'm not happy with that, if I think I still need to get rid of some more of the noise, then there is actually a noise filter here. I can do it a little bit more and really smooth out that sky. Okay. And the color. Okay. And then I'll do the same thing here. I'll hit that brush. My computer's starting to... My computer's not brand new, so sometimes it struggles. But now I'm going to go ahead and paint in that denoising filter as well into the sky and just smooth out that sky really nicely. Give it a nice smooth sky. And those hills in the background, they can be smoothed out too. So now, okay, so that's good. Now if you notice, this right here, this little thing right here, I think that's a bird, but it just looks like a black dot in my picture, so it doesn't really add anything to the picture. So what I'm going to do is go up here to Tools, and I'm going to go to the Erase tool, and it's got to process and set itself up. So, you just can see that, you look at an image and you think, now this is going to be a nice image. If you understand what you can do in software and if you understand what your camera is capable of doing. This was shot with a Sony A6500 in RAW. I forget what lens I used. I think it was the 18-105. The computer runs a little slower. And I just go ahead and do that, hit done. And if you just keep your eye on here, at first it's going to look like it didn't do anything when that red goes away. Yeah, it went away, but when I keep on watching it, yeah, now it's gone. Now that bird is gone, or that black dot. I think I'm pretty sure it was a bird. So this is what this image looks like now. This is what happened here and what you were able to do. Sometimes, it is important to, because we no longer shoot in film. I mean, when you shot in film, you had, rolls of film, 36, 24. You can only carry so many rolls of film with you, and you could only take so many pictures. So you're more careful with, how often you push that shutter. But now with digital photography, you can just push the shutter all day, and it doesn't cost you anything. And but it does cost you in time and trying to go through all these images and figure out which ones you want to keep and which ones you don't, and editing numerous images they really probably shouldn't edit. But in doing that, and you need to be somewhat ruthless in deciding to get rid of images and not edit images that just don't look that good. But in doing that, you have to be careful not to get rid of images that have a lot of potential, which this image did. Now look, this was the before, this was the raw file, and this is the after. Okay, this was before, and this is the after. So pretty dynamic change and pretty amazing image that it turned out to be. I actually have this is my homepage image on my website because I just really love the way this image turned out. So that's basically just the idea of looking for the potential in your image and having an understanding of what your camera can do and what your software can do, so that you don't throw away an image that has a lot of potential. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. Well, thanks.